Hello everyone, glad to be back. Today is 8th of April, now it's 10 o'clock in the morning Moscow time. I'm Levan Gudadze and this is my channel in which I share latest updates on the news that are making headlines in Russian media outlets and Russian language pages on different internet platforms. This is gonna be first update for today and possibly I would not be able to make second one because I was invited by relatives and I have to go there today, but tomorrow I will continue with this format. In the morning I will make a short update mainly about Ukraine and special military operation, and in the afternoon, maybe late afternoon, I will make a second update about news in general, news that are making headlines in Russian media outlets for that exact moment. Yesterday I did try this new take on format, and it seems like it did work. You did, many of you did comment that this format is okay. So I will give it a try. Let's continue this way, and after next week or towards end of next week, I will make some decision which format will be better to continue work on this channel. So yes, even if I would not be able to make second update today, I hope you will check not just this update but also my second update. Yesterday there are some quite interesting news there, and not that many views really, so I hope you will help with that. And yes, let's talk about news now. Let's talk about news. And by the way, I just shared on my Telegram channel a few minutes ago information that Russian side did establish direct control over this highway from Bakhmut to Konstantinovka, which is partially connecting Bakhmut with Chisov. Also, I'm talking about this H32 highway, and even this pro-Ukrainian map is acknowledging that these parts of highway are under Russian control now. So I believe if this map is acknowledging this, I believe Russian side did establish control over the much larger areas. When it comes to Bakhmut itself, yesterday's second update, I did share information that PMC Wagner units were finishing operation to establish full control over this small pocket on the left side of railway that crossing Bakhmut to establish full control, and the forward units of PMC Wagner did enter western parts and they were pushing towards western part. As you know, this small area is still under control of Zelensky's regime, and yet again, even this pro-Ukrainian map is acknowledging that Russian side is pushing in direction of west, not just from central parts but also from southern parts. And I believe in next 2 or 3 days, as I said in my yesterday's updates, in next 2 or 3 days times, we will see there will be two options. Zelensky will give order for Bakhmut garrison, for remains of Bakhmut garrison, to retreat in direction of Chisov and Konstantinovka, or if there will be no such order, I believe remains of Bakhmut garrison will start to retreat on their own without orders. It's not going to be easy because all the roads are under Russian control. Even these country roads, majority of them are under Russian control, at least under artillery control, and Zelensky's regime forces that are loyal to Zelensky will find it hard to cross this opening between Bakhmut and Chisov. Difficult, but I believe it's a matter of days now, and we will see mass withdrawal of forces from Bakhmut. As I said many times before, there are different accounts how many soldiers Zelensky's regime still has in Bakhmut, and I just watched a few minutes ago update from Military Summary, and Dima, host of that channel, that great channel, said that possibly Zelensky's regime may have up to 15,000 soldiers in this small area here, in this western part and surrounding areas, which is a huge number, which is a huge concentration of forces for such a small area. And if that's the case, then probably we will see some devastating final chapter in Bakhmut garnison, which will be a destruction of entire this garnison. They may try to retreat, and some of them will be successful, definitely, but majority of those forces probably will be destroyed or captured by Russian side. And this is matter of next few days, in my opinion. When it comes to overall situation on the front line, it's usual stuff. Southern part, Kherson, Zaporozhye region, it's artillery duels mainly. Donetsk direction is usually active, especially Marinka and Avdiivka direction. And Avdiivka is basically like second Bakhmut at this stage. Just look at how similar even maps are look. But we cannot even compare with Bakhmut, because Bakhmut garnison did have Chisov Yar right next to it and Konstantinovka, and Avdiivka is basically quite too far away from some other strongholds of Zelensky's regime. So that's the situation on the front line, usual stuff. Main point is that in next 2 or 3 days, if my reading of big picture is correct, we will see withdrawal of remainings of Bakhmut garnison from that city. Just now, a few minutes ago, I did saw on Telegram channels some new videos that Ukrainian forces are leaving Bakhmut without order on their foot, but because there is no information when this video were made and where, it's hard to me to say that this process of withdrawal of chaotic withdrawal of Bakhmut garnison has begun, but possibly that's the case. And maybe before end of this day, we will see some more and more additional videos that some units of Ukrainian forces start withdrawal from Bakhmut even without orders. Let's continue now with the news, and this is RIA Novosti's report, which is also about Ukraine and a special military operation. According to this report, in attempt to conduct large-scale counteroffensive operation in southern direction, in direction of Azov Sea, Zelensky's regime will begin biggest mobilization in Ukraine since the beginning of a special military operation. Quite interesting information, because first of all, this information once again confirms what I had said many times before, that Zelensky's regime has huge problem with manpower. And second of all, this information raises some doubts that Zelensky's regime will be able to conduct any large-scale counteroffensive in direction of Azov Sea, because if they don't really have manpower, if they lack manpower so much so that they will now start yet another wave to hunt down all the men that are left in Ukraine, to forcefully send them to the front line, then what kind of counteroffensive they're going to be able to conduct in direction of this quite vast area when it comes to Kherson and Zaporozhye region, to reach Azov Sea and to cut this land bridge here. So there are some indicators lately that raises some doubts that maybe Zelensky's regime won't be able to even conduct large-scale counteroffensive in direction of Azov Sea. But yet again, because Washington and London demanding from Zelensky to conduct this kind of offensive, we may see that Zelensky will give such an order to its military, and this counteroffensive will be just absolute disaster for Ukrainian armed forces. Absolute disaster. Russian side will destroy in this area probably last remainings of battle-ready formations of Zelensky's regime. And no matter how many people they're gonna mobilize after that or during these days now, Zelensky's regime effectively will be done. And after failure of this anticipated by many counteroffensive from Zelensky's regime, I believe Washington will take him out. I believe Washington will take him out in weeks or months time, and in 2-3 months, after 2-3 months, Zelensky will be exterminated by U.S. Secret Services or under orders of U.S. Secret Services, or perhaps Zelensky will manage to flee Ukraine safely to Israel. I don't think Western states will take him, but Israel may, because if you remember, former Prime Minister of Israel did spoke about safety of Zelensky with Putin. That's what he said, former Prime Minister of Israel, and maybe Zelensky already has some security guarantees from Israelis. And if that's the case, then he will probably flee for Israel once this counteroffensive will fail, counteroffensive of Ukrainian armed forces, and that will be end of his career, really. Let's continue with the news. This is TASS News Agency's report that according to New York Times, there were some new leaks. There were some new leaks of secret documents in U.S. As you know, Justice Ministry of U.S. did start conducting investigation about leakages of secret documents about Ukrainian armed forces, and now we have information that some more additional documents were leaked to internet, and this time these documents are not just about Ukraine but also about Indo-Pacific region. And timing, man, because this happened right now when so much talk is about announced counteroffensive of Zelensky's regime. I still believe that this is some kind of deception operation. I believe all those documents are fake, and Pentagon or CIA did play out this game to somehow distract Russian side when it comes to documents that are about Ukraine, and to distract China, for example, when it comes to documents about Indo-Pacific region. I don't believe that so many documents can be leaked in internet, and we never even heard about any whistleblowers. Usually, it's whistleblowers that are coming out and saying that yes, that's documents, and we are sharing this with public because all whistleblowers has their own ideas behind their actions. But this time we have no information from whom, how and why this information have been leaked, so I just don't believe any of it. And let's see. I may be wrong, but I don't believe in such a leaks when timing is too right. So I believe this is some kind of deception operation conducted by CIA, and Russian side probably will take this possibility in account. But still, man, information is interesting because the second leakage is about some 100 documents, 100 secret documents. Something is unusual, definitely is happening, and this is also interesting news. TASS News Agency is reporting that head of U.S. State Department Antony Blinken made yet another crazy statement. He's very active lately, and he does make some quite inadequate statements, and he's all the time in the news. And this time he said that there can be no ceasefire between Moscow and Kiev right now. And for God's sake, man, they don't even try no more to like play this game that, you know what, it's up to Zelensky, it's Kiev that are making decisions. No, man, they are openly now saying that no, Kiev will not agree to any ceasefire. Who the hell are you, for God's sake? Is Ukraine part of US and I did not know about it, or what the hell is happening? But you can see how degraded current administration of US is, that this one, for example, he's formerly #1 diplomat of US, and this kind of language is not language the diplomats should ever use. And this idiot is coming out and saying that, you know what, it's not time to, and there is no chance that there will be some ceasefire between Moscow and Kiev. Okay, we do all understand that it's Washington and London that did provoke this conflict, and they are running this show when it comes to Ukraine and decisions that Zelensky's regime is making. But for God's sake, man, have some dignity and at least try to don't present yourself as a representative of empire, for God's sake. That you truly are, because US is an empire and Ukraine is some colony of US empire. At least that's how Washington sees that territory, and they are not happy that they are losing colonies one by one, and yeah. But anyway, it's quite strange. Probably you will agree with me that lately more and more Western officials are coming and talking about some stuff that none of their business. It's supposed to be Zelensky and his henchmen that are talking about war and peace, not these idiots, man. Not Blinken and some other animals that are representatives of high-ranking representatives of criminal Western elites. So yes, this is it. This is it for now. As I said, no major breakthroughs on the front line. Hottest point is still Bakhmut, of course, and in my opinion, in the next 2-3 days, we will start seeing large-scale withdrawal of remains of Bakhmut garrison from this city, with order or without order. So this is the final chapter of Bakhmut battle that we are seeing right now. So yes, this is it for now. This video is 18 minutes, okay, quite short. And by the way, maybe I would not be able to make second update for today, but anyway, for future, I was planning, and I had some talk about it on my Patreon page, and I had some even suggestions from Patreons to take one day off, at least one day off a week, and probably that's what I'm gonna do. And Saturdays, if nothing extraordinary is happening, then Saturdays probably I will have day off from YouTube and all the media platforms, just to chill a little bit. But anyway, today at least I will make one update, and then if nothing special will happen, there will be no second update, because as I said, I had to visit my relatives, and I will come back quite late, maybe at night, and after that it's only a few hours and it's morning again, and tomorrow morning I will definitely make a new update. So as I said, I think this how you say it, man, I think this approach is working when I'm making short video in the morning and a little bit maybe long video in afternoon. First one about Ukraine and news that are connected with Ukraine one way or another. Second one about generally about news that are relevant for that point in Russian media. Probably this will work, this approach. Let's see it again. I wish you great weekends. Have a nice time. And yes, this is it. If you find this video interesting, please hit that like button, leave some commentary about any topic you like. By the way, unfortunately I would not be able to be active in comment sections today, but I hope you will have conversation between each other, and you will leave some comments. And also, if you can, please share links to my videos or my channel with your friends on Telegram, Facebook, Twitter, or any other platform that you are active on. It will greatly help me to reach a wide audience, and I will be very grateful for this. And of course, if you can and if you want to, you can support my work and my channel with small donations through PayPal or subscribing by subscribing to my Patreon page. You will see links under this video in the description box. So once again, I wish you a great weekend. Take care and see you soon.